Good morning and happy Monday. Welcome to the SHAC. My name's Barbara Gray from Clarity Craft here in the UK, and we're going to hang out for an hour here, just doing a bit of doodling, having a little banter, telling you about what's coming up, and just generally setting the week. You know, I think it's a good idea, isn't it? What's the weather like where you are? It was forecast to be really unpleasant today, but it's beautiful outside, crisp, fresh, nice. Paul says that the sound is all clear, so I'm just waiting for our friends to turn up now, and it's Monday, so I'm not expecting a big crowd when the sun's shining. I think we need to make the most of this gorgeous weather. Tell me what it's like where you are. And I'm not seeing any chat at all. So what have I? Yeah, let's have a look. Okay. Never miss a chat. Good morning, Ken. I knew you were there somewhere. Yeah. Welcome all the lovely shack-shackers, as Ken says. Yeah, and did you have a good weekend? Did you enjoy the sunshine? Let's wait for a few of our friends to turn up. Good morning, all. Yeah, what did I do? Oh, I did some blogging. So if you read my blog, barbaragrayblog.com, then there's a catch up there. I did a bit of pottery, really nice, getting ready for the open days. So I think if you're going to do it, Barbara, then do it properly. And also, pottery is really good for my head. So I was enjoying that. And it was nice to be able to, I did some little hand-built birds, and I was able to sit in the garden and do that in the shade with Dave, although the clay dries so quickly. So I had a J cloth, and as I was, it was quite funny really, as I was shaping the birds with my hands, and then you could feel immediately when the clay starts to crack a little bit. So then I had two on the go. Then I'd put one in the J cloth, like in a little nest, right, so that it got damp again. Then I'd work on the next one. Then I'd take that one out of the J cloth. And yeah, so it was interesting how, because you'd think when I was working in the kitchen, like in the evenings last week, the Arga's on, it's warm, toasty. But it was the air, it was the wind, the breeze that was drying the clay out. So that was cool. I really enjoyed it. And I got some soap dishes going. Yeah, did loads actually. Because I've got to fill the kiln. It's got to be cost effective, friends. Yeah, come on in. And what's the weather like where you are? That's what I was asking. Sunny Staffordshire. Nice. Nice. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, so we're working on our alphabet, aren't we? And we were on V for vase, and we're just going to finish up the bouquet of flowers today. We put a layer down of watercolour last time. And I thought I'd show you a couple of tricks and tips while I'm chatting to you. And then this afternoon at 2 o'clock, we're in here again launching something special I'll show you in a minute. Just in case you want to get out and enjoy the sunshine today, I totally understand. I would too. So Facebook is hiding comments from you, Nahid. I can see them. Yeah, so there you go. I did pottery. What did you do? Nice to see you have a bit of banter. I did quite a lot of work as well, actually. And Dave was busy. He was making something which we're launching today. I'll show you once we get started. Looks like Facebook is playing no live chat. Well, I wonder what that's all about then. I wonder why that is. Paul, can you work that out, why there's no live chat? Because I can see it here, Ken. So maybe Paul or Jim, you could take a look. Evening. Debbie, where are you? Because it's early morning here. Oh, yeah, Sue's got live chat. Sue Faye, whereabouts are you then? Or is it just a regional thing? Maybe we can work this out. Facebook is fine for Paul as well. So I wonder. Australia, welcome. And what's the weather like where you are then, Debbie? What's the weather like there? And so we're leading up to Easter here. I just seen the crafty curate is in the building. Welcome. Yeah, we're leading up to Easter here. We're going to take a break over Easter. Just regroup a bit. And so there'll be no TV on Friday and no SHAC next Monday. But I've got a couple of little things that I want to tell you about. Just got some ideas. No live chat in Derbyshire. Live chat on the South Coast in Bexhill. Yeah, Facebook's mucking about. But there we are. As long as you can hear me, then I'm the hub, if you like. Okay. So let's have a look. What was I going to tell you? It's Lillian Tilley's birthday. Happy birthday, Lillian. Is she in the building? That we want to know. If it's her birthday, she's probably gone out. But happy birthday, many happy returns to Lillian Tilley. I made a note last week because I heard through the grapevine that it was your birthday, Lillian. And other than that, I would say that we get started and then we can just start, you know, we could start weaving in some chat to it. Let's have a look where we are. If you remember last week, we did some watercolor. So it's a look a bit, is that a bit bright, or can we see it if I come in a bit closer? Let's have a look. Okay, let's move over a little bit. The cameras are mucking about here as well. Yeah, oh, nothing's easy, is it? No, Bob. Right. So if you remember, just a quick recap. Let me take my coffee out of the way before we have a Kodak moment. Right. So what we were doing, just to recap, and we will put this vase back in. We started with the V for vase, and we made a V for vase through an opening, through a piece, a cutout that we did on the fold, just to recap, so that it's symmetrical. And where did we get the lovely shapes from? There's another one. Look, practice, practice. The key was to do it on the tracing paper, wasn't it? Because it glides so beautifully. And then we've got this stencil. That was what we used. We got this really cool stencil. There are loads of different ones, but this is a very cool one, especially for gel plate people, because you've got the innie and the outie. So that's interesting. Okay, so we were working on that, and then we were working on I've done a little bit more work on this. I added a little bit of black. This is where we're headed today, right? So we did some watercolor, didn't we? We did this was last Thursday. We did a composition. So let's just make sure I can find this. Oh, now what have I slung on the floor? Oh, it'll be okay. Right, now, so the first thing we want to do, we've put the stain down, and what we did was, this is bone dry. It needs to be bone dry to carry on. So I used the A pencils from the Pergoliners to do that. And then I was thinking, right, try something different. I had one of me what if hours. You know, I was talking about it the other week. I can't even remember where anymore. What if? You know, like, I'm forever saying what if. Oh, I know. I was doing a live with Janice, my friend Janice Phillips. I'm looking for Lillian. Is she in the building? And we were talking about this sense of this curiosity, you know, and how you evolve as an artist, or an artist, if you keep asking yourself, what if I do that? What if I do that? What if? So I had a bit of a what if around this as well. And if, for example, we put the stain down and we used the blending mat. Do you remember? We just used the blending mat to create different colours. I'm not going to add more colour to this because it needs to be bone dry to do the next thing. So I thought, right, what if instead of using more and more colour to get darker and darker, Lillian, she's in the building. Happy birthday, Lillian. I nearly broke into song then, but knowing Facebook, they'll cut me off. Many happy returns, Lillian, from all your shacking friends. And I hope you're having a fabulous day. What you up to, we want to know. Is the sun shining where you are? Up in the northeast? I'm sure that's where you are. Gracie always asks after you too. So I'm sure she'll be giving you a hurrah from New York. Hey? Yeah, nice. It's a great community that we have, you know. It really is. And the loveliest thing is I don't get nervous at all when I'm doing the shack. Not even a little bit. You know, it's like hanging out with my mates. In fact, it does me the power of good to come in here and talk to you because I can be myself, you know. It's great. On Wednesday, I'm going up to TV. I'm doing Hobby Maker. So I'll get all my 32 teeth in and I'll use them all. Okay. I'm going up to Hobby Maker and I'm doing a TV 2 hours. So that's at 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock. We need to cast our net. We need to find some more friends for clarity. We need to do that. Okay. See if we can find some more friends. Because I think what happened was when Create and Craft in Oundle folded, a lot of people, they didn't know that we have this fabulous Clarity TV, and you know, some people just watch television. They just watch television, buy from television. That's it, you know. And Create and Craft had a big fan base, and I think we may have lost quite a few people when that folded. And the Hobby Maker people, they don't know that we even exist. So Paul's been over there doing shows, hasn't he, with Groovy. He went on Friday, did really well in the heat, despite the heat. And so I'm going up there on Wednesday, you know, and many thanks to the Hobby Maker team for giving us airtime. There we are, for giving us airtime. I don't anticipate doing more than a couple of hours a month, you know. I'm 66 for crying out loud. I can't keep it up, friends. That's why we're doing the online courses, so I can keep going. I'll tell you about that in a minute as well. Anyway, so yeah, date for the diary. If you do want to come and watch it, there's nothing new apart from some fantastic new stickers. They are just beautiful. But what I'm showing on Wednesday, I'm kind of highlighting this afternoon as well. So it's just a couple of sets of stamps. You'll know the stamps. Build a wreath set. This is what I'm going to be doing on Hobby Maker, because I'm assuming there are a lot of people over there that don't know about the stamp pens, don't know about the beautiful floral wreaths that we've got, the build a wreath sets. So I thought that would be ideal. That'd be ideal. We'll add a lovely couple of sets of stamps to that, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And we're going to add a really excellent set of stickers, which I'm going to keep exclusively for Hobby Maker as a little thank you. So we'll keep it just for that show. So I've got something new to show. Yeah, well, there we are. That's me Wednesday sorted. Yeah, it's a long way, but that's okay. Karen, I know you can see me, but you can't reply to me. I don't know what's going on, but there we are. Let's have a look at this. So what if, back to what if. I thought to myself, excuse me, what if we use our grey pencils? You know, the Faber-Castell set that we use. I thought, what if I just use grey to add shade over the top of the watercolour, right? So these are the pencils, 31031. This is our set that I use a lot in conjunction with the pergoliners, because the pergoliners don't have those greys in. So we've got ivory, cream, a beautiful kind of peachy colour, sky blue. These are all colours that are really useful for shading and landscapes. Then you've got all those greys from light to Payne's grey, and then you've got your 3 metallics as well. So they're well worth having, 31031. So I thought, right, let's use those to add a little bit of depth. And you'll see, I already did a little bit on here. See? I've got a lot of control with the pencil. Let's come in a bit closer, right? And you'll see how you can just add a little bit of depth. So you've got the yellow in the background, yeah? But you don't have to. See, I quite like this. I think it's, so you've got your colour, your backdrop, and now you add your detail. So let's say, for example, and of course, the best thing about this as well, just to point out, if I do something and I don't like it, right, which is often, you know, that's what happens, isn't it? I'll just take my little piece of copy paper. Right, and if I do something that I don't like, let me just get the pink off there and make sure. Gently does it. But say I put too much grey down and I don't like it. I mean, I really like what I've done, but say I want to get that bit out. If I remove it, I can take the pen to get rid of the stain. See, it takes it back, but it doesn't erase the yellow. Look, if I go like that, the yellow doesn't move. It's stained, and therein lies the difference between the watercolour, the A for aqua, and the B for oil. The polychromos or the B pencils in the pergoliners, if I go, I could take them out, can't I? But once I've added the water to the A pencils, they don't come, they're not going to move. So that's, you know, the way to look at that is, that's a really, that's a real positive. So you use that to your advantage. So what if I put loads of shade on there and then knock it all back a little bit with an eraser? You see? So I'm just saying that this is a really nice way. So you can put your grey down like that. And then if you think it's too stripy, then you just, see, just use your rubber to knock it back a bit. Do you see? So you're knocking it back without eliminating it completely. And now you're getting a really lovely shade. Make sense? Makes sense to me. Yeah, so this week, let's have a look. Let's just do a little bit of this and I'll chat to you. Yeah, this week, Thursday week. So Wednesday, let's start today. Right, so today we've got, see, just getting a bit of tubular effect going like that. Today we've got a 2 o'clock show where we're launching something pretty spectacular that Dave's been working on. See, so you get around there like that. So let me just keep going. I need to go a bit further now before I show off what we're doing. And what I was thinking was, I spoke to Paul about it earlier and I thought, you know, if the sun's shining, and I know I love you for it, I know you'll come in at 2 o'clock and you'll keep me company and you'll watch again. I know my mum will as well, you know, which is lovely. But if the sun's shining, you want to make the most of it, really. So I completely understand if you didn't come back at 2. But it's really exciting what we're going to show you. So I'm going to show you this morning as well. It's already on the website. I'm sure, according to Paul, plenty of you have already found them. Now let's go, but let's stick to the plan, because we do want to see, so you can get some real shade going. And if you want to get a bit of vein work going, right, you just flick like that. See how different it looks? Right. And then if you want to take it back a little bit, you just knock it back a bit. Let's have a look. What if I just knock it back a little bit? See? Do you see what I mean? So you get that fantastic detail. You've got different colours going on as well there. So just put a little bit on there. We'll come back in with a darker pencil in a minute. So light, dark, remember? Put a bit of dark around there, like that. Yeah, so 2 o'clock this afternoon, this is what Dave was doing all weekend, was making up this idea that he's had with our brand new pen holders, right? So we've got these pen holders, and Dave's been in the garden, and I made a lovely little spot for him under the umbrella, cleaned the glass table, and then he had this great idea. He said, I could sit outside and do it. Like, you've really been set up here, friend. But he had a really nice spot, and I blogged about it. And because he had the idea of these pen holders, he had the idea of the stamp pens, and then of course he's been off, and his mind never stops, even if he's unable to move around a great deal. So he had the idea of these. Let me show you these. Look. So he had the idea of the stamp pens. We know all about the stamp pens. But did you know that Dave's been making the tool holder? So you can see it's standing on a really great, on a tool holder, which holds 12 tools. Right, there it is. It's just sublime. It's very simple, okay, and it holds 12 tools. We're going to talk about it at 2 o'clock, but I'm letting you off the hook. If you've got to go out, you can get it before you leave. And I'm even going to show you the other things that are on the TV this afternoon, so you can get out and enjoy the sunshine while it lasts. Okay, now let's have a look. If I show you see at that end, we've got Clarity Crafts. Okay, so obviously, as you can see from there, the tools sit in there perfectly. So ideal, right? But if we sweep it round, right, ding dong, Pergamano. So now, of course, it's the same pen. Now we've got a Pergamano tool holder, haven't we? You see? So if you look here, it works really nicely with the Pergamano tools as well. So it takes 12 tools. It takes 12 tools, 12 stamps. They sit kind of diagonally, so you can see them as well, like that. See? So you can see that they're alternate like that. So you've got 12 altogether, and Dave made 100. It takes time, this stuff, you know, but he made 100, and he's working on. He'll be working on them all week. I hope. I hope. But you can see how lovely they are, and we'll be talking about them later on. Another thing that we worked out, your 12 pencils that I was just talking about, they sit in there nicely as well. So that's a result. See, to me, this is like a project holder. So if I'm doing a particular composition or project, we've got 45 Pergamano tools. So you need 4 holders for all the tools. Paul's just worked it out. For me, I want one for a project. So if I'm using particular tools, then I load my pen holder with those tools, be it Pergamano, be it stamp pens, be it pencils. See, I can load what I'm using. I can put it all in here, and then because at the moment, I tell you what I've got. This is how I have my, look, they're there like that. That's my tool set that I'm using for this particular job, and I've got them all lying down like that. See, so ideally, I'd either have them in a jar. Oh, that's right. I'm making pen holders as well, aren't I, for the open days at a pottery. But what I'm saying is that, to me, this is a brilliant project. For me, as a crafter, this would be a great project tool holder, because then if I'm doing particular stamp pens with particular images, I can pop them in there, because at the moment they're always on the deck, you know. It's not so ideal. So anyway, that's what we're launching this afternoon. And the number, if you're looking for the product code, it's 31797. 31797. And many thanks to Dave. I know you're watching, dear. You've been absolutely brilliant. I mean, just, you know, week 6, and it's all about the head. You know, he's done a fantastic job. And just to come up with the stamp pens, we're not having a, you know, it's not an easy, it's a challenge running a business at the moment. So when you've got a husband at home who just keeps coming up with these brilliant ideas, it's pretty impressive. Now, let me see. I've also got some excellent stamps. And these are little stamp pen. Oh, these are so brilliant. They're going to be on the show this afternoon. We're calling these stamp pen sentiments because they're actually so small and beautiful that they sit. Let me find my stamp pens. I'll show you. These are massive. Look, massive as in brilliant. They sit on those little stamp pen holders, and right, as if that weren't good enough, at the bottom, option, right, you've got a framer which sits on, you got 4 different stamp pens, 4 different framers that go round the words happy days, lots of love, with love, make a wish. Tiny. So I was thinking these would be brilliant in the build a wreath, you know, you could put them in. And then, of course, you've got to have it as well, the masks, because they really work well. Okay, so now you've got the masks, so you can, and this is what I will show you this afternoon. I won't give everything away this morning, but the masks are absolutely brilliant for, you put the word in, cover it up, and then you go around the outside with your beautiful flowers. It's excellent. Okay, and the little birds, I said to Jazz, I really would love to get some tiny little silhouette birds, because just because they're black here doesn't mean that, but they're fantastic little silhouette birds. So Jazz came up with a great collection of these birds, all different types. Look, hummingbirds, colibris, magpies, eagles, jays, just all different shapes and sizes. If you love birds, then these are yours. You'll enjoy them. And of course, they're designed to fit on the stamp pen. So it's definitely a stamp pen show. These are what I'm taking up to Hobby Maker as well. So they'll be good. And as far as the codes go, just in case you want to get them today when you're popping your tool holders in your basket, we've got the sentiments with the masks. That's 12142, 12142, and the birds is 12143. There you go. I wrote them out. Okay. So there we are. That's what we've got lined up for this week. So we're leaning into the stamp pens and into the tiny art, which for the mini makes is absolutely perfect. There's a real, I would like to think that we are trendsetters, we are influencers, friends, because isn't it funny? We started making small art, didn't we? Mini makes. We even started a Facebook group called the Clarity Mini Makes ATC and ATC group. Right, there must be 1,000 of us. Jane Telford and Elizabeth Goldsmith are running it for us. They're running the swaps. So we start this in January, and then lo, here we are in April. Everywhere I look on Facebook, mini make workshops, tiny art, miniature art, la li la. So, well, we're influencers. What can I say? So that's going to be this afternoon show, and it's all available on the website already. And there you go. So you can go shopping and then you can go out for the day. Make the most of the sunshine, friends. I completely understand if you don't rock up this afternoon. And you can always watch when you get home anyway, can't you? Yeah. There we are. Now, back to the shading. So I'm going to take my grey pencil and I'm going to keep going with my shading. So I've shown you what we're doing. Right, and then let's have a look. I've got a couple of other ideas. See, so you get your shading in, and don't forget your rubber for getting rid of it. Let's have a look at a flower. See, and what's lovely is because we've done this. See, because we've done this this pink stain or watercolor, it gets a bit of purchase, like tooth. You can feel it when you go over the let's get some, see if we can get a bit of, see, that's too much. But if I knock it back a bit with the rubber, so I like this idea. See, I knew this was going to work. If you knock it back a bit with the rubber, it takes it back, it fades it out, but you get these lines that are so good. So you see, you go in a bit harder than you would, like that, let's say. Oh, it's a little bit darker there. Go like that. And then I'll go back and knock it back a bit, you see. So you've got the lines, but they're not so, they're not black. There we go. Nice. There. So we're going to put well, let's try another leaf. Let's do a leaf and then we'll go to the pink. I'm building up to the pink. Light, dark, light, dark. Right, let's get in here. Got a bit of shadow in there. Yeah. So what else is going on this week? At 2 o'clock this afternoon, I've already told you, we're launching that. Then tomorrow at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. So tomorrow it's Groovy Tuesday, isn't it, with Louise, Paul. Then in the afternoon, I'm sure that Paul's got something. I'm not sure what you're doing tomorrow, Paul, but I'm sure it'll be something. Louise is going to be doing something cool, I'm sure. And then on Wednesday, you've got so Paul's doing Paul and Louise are doing the third of the online workshops, aren't you? And that's 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock, right? There we are. 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock. And that's why I'm going up to Hobbymaker on my own. I know. So I should be leaving at the Cracker Sparrows to get up there in time. And so Paul and Louise are doing the 1 to 4 here, the live session. And I shall be trundling up that motorway. I'm gonna meet a friend, so I'm not going to be completely alone. That'll be all right. Looking forward to that as well. And then let me see. So that'll be Wednesday. See how you're building up the shade. So we're going to get these. Let's get these petals. Let's get the petals sorted. And the pink is kind of telling me where to put the grey. What if I put a little bit of grey over the top of the pink, like that? Build it up a bit there. You can be quite, I wouldn't say rough, but sketchy. Sketchy is the word. There you go. Let's get a little bit in there. Let's build up a little bit of shade in there. Starting to look good, see? And then you can take a lighter grey if you've got those different greys. Let's see if I've got a lighter grey. There's a lighter grey. Bring a lighter grey in. So you've got so many different greys in that pack, haven't you? Yeah. Yeah, so Wednesday is the Hobbymaker, but it's also the 1, 2, 3 course. Now, on the subject of 1, 2, 3 courses, of course, I launched my new 1, 2, 3 course, excuse me, on Friday. Many, many thanks for all of those good people that have enrolled. Without wanting to go on about it, it really does help us a lot if you join in on the paid online courses. It really does, especially this old bird, because I'm running out of steam, friends. Yeah, I like this. Look, this is looking good. So I'll talk to you about that. See how you can, the best thing about it is, and this is the point, when you're doing this, you can knock it back. Whatever you do, you can always, like, let's do that eucalyptus. I already did one there, like a little bit. See, so I'm going to go in with it. I'm going to use a darker grey so you can see it better. So I'll go in and add a little bit of shade to those leaves like that. I've got a plan here, friends. Look, I haven't actually connected the leaves yet, but I've got an idea for that. See? So you can add the shade. What I was thinking was, because originally when I woke up, I thought, well, we could, take the pink again, go again. But then I thought, trouble is then it just gets brighter and brighter, and I didn't really want that. So I thought, right, let's just go with grayscale. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3 course. I've started, I decided to take it back to, I won't say to the beginning, but if my name's Barbara Gray, and this is the beginning of the Clarity Stamp 1, 2, 3 courses, then I'm going to start with what I'm known for, which is landscapes and stamping. That's really where I cut my teeth, isn't it, for many, many years, with a brayer and with torn paper and ink and, tree reflections, etc., etc. So I thought, let's do an online course, a 1, 2, 3 course. So it's 3 afternoons in May. And let's get together and set the foundations. And there's so much else going on, so I'll tell you loads of tricks on how to improve your stamping. I get lots of messages from people who are unhappy with their stamping, who can't get the right image. It's not the stamps, it could be the paper, it could be the ink. It's not the Clarity stamps. Clarity stamps are a good quality, but sometimes too much pressure. Sometimes, it's just, we've just got to go through and get a really good, get a good foundation for how to stamp. And then, of course, it's all about those landscapes that we introduced at the end of last year, and we've been evolving with those. So a lot of you bought the landscapes and then didn't do anything with them because you're not sure how to blend the colors, etc. So I thought, well, how about we hang out, we do a live session. I'll do a pre-record as well, just like the guys have done for Groovy, right? And we'll get together and I'll work through, I'm going to do 5 projects with you. And each of those projects will roll into the next one. So we just ramp up the skill set a bit more and a bit more, just like I talked to you about on Friday, right? And as soon as you enroll, it's £60 for the whole course. And that includes this booklet that we're going to send you and a little pack of postcards and a mask. And these are the 5 cards that we're going to do. And this little booklet will tell you exactly where we're headed, how we're going to tackle this. There's a tick list of all the things so you can see what you need or what you're going to. There'll be a discount code sent to you exclusive to those of you who join up, and then you can get into that course for a couple of months. You can get into you'll have a discount code, and that gives you an extra 10% off anything you buy so that you can do the workshop. So that's handy. And then each project is listed in this booklet. So it's a real project booklet, and it tells you what we're going to do: day 2, day 3, day 4. In comes the gel plate. Day 5, day 3, part 1. Day 3, part 2. How to use the landscape masks. How to do really cool stamping. How to make gel plate transfers with the bow wad papers, all those things. So So if you know me but a little, you'll know that this is going to be an interesting, informative workshop. And I deliberately picked things that I knew a lot of you would already have. I'd really appreciate it if you sign up and join. A lot of you already have. If you're sitting on the fence, I'd appreciate it if you'd support Clarity by taking part in the paid online workshops. There you go. Right, now let's have a look. So that's going to be, oh, and the dates for that one, just in case, the live sessions are the 7th of May, the 14th of May, and the 21st of May. I know I've said 2 hours, but you know me, I always go over the top. So I thought if I set myself 2 hours, then perhaps we'll get it done in 2.5 hours. Famous last words. Okay, so that I wanted to talk about. And then the other thing, see how this is coming together now? Look, so you get a bit of shade going. Right. And what you've got to remember is that when you're doing this, if you think, oh, I put the shade in the wrong place, then you can correct it, can't you? So actually, this is going to start looking good here. Look, to get a bit of shade down there, a bit of shade in there. Could do with a sharpener, really. But that'll do. There, looking good now. See? So when you get to, see how you're going over the darker green with a grey, and it's adding, but I'm deliberately not going in with you could go in with the pencil line if you want to leave it soft like this, but I'll show you another little thing. Because I thought, well, what if instead of just leaving it grey, because you could keep going in with dark greys, couldn't you? And add shade, like here, I can go in there, add a bit more shade, add a bit more depth in there. And you just take it down another notch, go to a darker grey and a darker grey and a darker grey until you've got grey, right? Agreed? Or you could go in with a pen. See, so I thought, like, let's just check it out. So at this point, what we usually do is we put the pen down first, and then we put the watercolour inside the pen. The pens that we use are these 30778, the Micron pens. I mean, these are absolutely excellent, okay? And you'll find most artists use these Micron pens. They come in 7 different sizes. See here? 7 different sizes. I tend to stick to the smaller ones, but the larger ones are great for shading as well, or effects. So what I was going to show you was, so you can, what if I said, what if we do this one just dark grey, just keep coming in with a darker grey to get to the edge. See, so I can go into the third one. See what I'm doing? So this one, for example, is a lot softer because all I'm doing is using the grey pencils. So now I'm using the dark pencil to add the lines inside. If I've overcooked it and I think it's too dark, then what's really cool is I just go and knock it back a bit. Still got the depth. But say here, for example, we've got quite a gap between the leaves on that, because that's actually the way it often comes with the eucalyptus, isn't it? So then I thought, right, what do I want to do? Do I want to go in with a really sharp, dark? Well, I can try it, can't I? The thing about the pencil is it's temporary. It's not, do you know what I mean? I'm not, there we go. So I can put the stalks in with these. And I can use grey pencil, and it's all temporary. It stays there until I erase it. Okay. So I've got all those options, which is rather nice. I think I need to put a little bit of depth down there. Do you know when you got a bit of? Let's go down there. Let's get darker around here now. Right. Okay. And then I can go back in with my rubber and knock it back. Excellent. like that. Let's look at this top bit here. Let's tackle that. Light grey first. Let's get that shadow in there. Right. And then it needs to be a little bit darker underneath as well. I'm feeling that I'm not giving it enough. Go in with the darker. There you go. Let's get a little lip going like that. There. Interesting, isn't it? What you can do with a grey pencil. So no added colour. And it was bright yellow before we started. But let's try this. What if, say you've done all that, right? I'm not finished with this yet. But if I took my micron pen and then I went in really roughly and just outlined, and you don't have to, really, you don't have to stick to the lines completely. This is the best part of it, right? So say, for example, now, I'm just going to do a bit of a squiggle. See? So you're not even, it's a bit of a sketchy, see? Like that. I thought this might look really nice and I'm not wrong. So see, so now these bits, and now I can decide which bits over the top of the branch or the twig. There we go, look. So you're creating an edge. It looks quite arty, this. And then I can just add a little tiny bit in there. There you go. Now let's see. The other thing, of course, is that with this the other reason that this Pergamano tool caddy is just well timed is, of course, because we've got a Pergamano sale going on the Pergamano website at the moment, all month, which is a 30% Pergamano party. So if you were trying to stock up on, hang look, let's do some bear grass. If you were trying to stock up on your, right, here we go. I'm going to try that monkshood because it looks quite good. Let's just see if I just do little dashes of black. I don't want loads of black. I don't want to kill the pink bits. This is, I can't knock this, can't take this out again. Once this is in place, I can always add it, but I cannot take this away. So I'm just going to add a little tiny, just a little bit like that. Do a little bit of black there. A little bit of black in the center there. Maybe a bit of dotting, a few dots, a little bit of scribbling. Yeah, so the Pergamano looks good, actually. I like it, you see. So you've got that, you've got choices, you've got combinations now. You can either go with the black line art like that, and you can always go back in. This is the best part of it. These are waterproof. So that means if, for example, I decide I want to go back in with more pink or more grey, especially with the pinks, I'm going to add water. I can do that after the fact. I can, I tell you what would look really nice with this as well, is if I flicked it after I've done everything. I got a little bit of water and then I just took a paintbrush and I just gently flicked, so I had little splatters of the same colours on the vase, etc. as well. That would look so good too, you know. So now let's go to this one. I quite like that. I think it looks good. See, this one isn't finished yet, but you get it's a softer version of the same thing. It's headed in the same direction, and I can add grey and take it away. I could spend a happy hour just going through this and adding the shadow. Isn't it lovely? Yeah. See. And like I say, it doesn't all have to be perfect. So look, it looks good. That's it. So the other thing I was going to tell you about is on Thursday evening, because of course it's Easter. And a couple of weeks ago, I met up with Pat Hosking's daughter. Do you remember I told you I was going to hang out with Sarah? And we met in Hampshire, Hook. We had a lovely lunch, had a good catch up. And she entrusted me with some really nice artwork of Pat's. So many of you will remember Pat. And during lockdown, Pat was one of the founding members of the SHAC, really. She was there every single day, wasn't she? Do you remember? Unless she was in hospital because she was poorly, and then we were all concerned for her welfare, and so it goes on. By the way, I'm in touch with Maggie Craner. If anybody wants to reach out to Maggie, I'm sure she'd be really pleased to hear from you. I think she's getting bored. She's like Pat, you know. These women have really active, creative minds. Anyway, yeah. So Pat's daughter, she gave me some beautiful artwork of Pat's. And I was thinking Easter Thursday, perfect opportunity. How about instead of doing artwork on Thursday evening, you bring your favourite tipple to the party, and and bring your SHAC projects, and we'll take a trip down memory lane, and we'll look at Pat's beautiful artwork. We'll use her folder and her work as a kind of as the bus, and we'll take a trip, and we'll go right back in the SHAC, and we'll have a look at all the different places that we went to during lockdown, because we went all over the world. I'll get mine out as well, and you get yours out, and you will be amazed at how much ground we covered when we were in the SHAC during lockdown. And I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity just to hang out and celebrate Easter, celebrate Pat, celebrate our community, because we've got an amazing community, you know. There's nothing like it, absolutely nothing like Clarity. I'm certainly not aware of a group of friends that hang out like this all the time and support each other. So yeah, that's what we're doing on Thursday evening. If you're up for it, I think that'd be cool. You know, 7 o'clock. How's that sound? And then Friday, Good Friday, is a day of rest. Saturday, Sunday, Easter Monday, day of rest. And then we're back in the saddle on Tuesday again. Okay? Does that sound good? That sounds good. And then the other thing I was going to talk about on the subject of the new online, you know, and supporting, etc., the open days. Right? It's a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of cost attached to the open days. We need some support. We've got lots of you have signed up, but I'm going to push on this because it is great. And it's like you know, I'll be honest, it's like often, you know, why haven't we got a greengrocer in the high street? Why haven't we got a butcher? Why haven't we got a baker? Why haven't we got a candle? Well, that's because we didn't support them. And so they couldn't afford to keep going. And so read the room. I'm asking you to support Clarity, okay? These are the open day tickets. I'm sure that loads of you are already signed up, because really I'm preaching to the converted here. I'm gonna show you the open day tickets. We've got the 30th of May, that's Friday. I've been talking to, I'm on to Sam at the moment, because we've got some new stamps. They're so cool. And I know it'd be right up Sam's street. So I'm going to give them to Sam, and then she can build her demonstration around them. And then I want to use them in the workshop the following day, because they're so cool. See, that's it. All the demonstrators at another level, it's an opportunity for the design team. A lot of the design team players all come together and we spend a weekend. I was thinking that Linda and I, instead of going backwards and forwards to the house, I'm gonna splurge, and because we always do that to save money. But I think this time I'm going to stay in the hotel with Linda, and Grace is there as well from New York. So we'll stay at the hotel where all our guests stay as well, and we'll hang out with them in the evenings. That'd be good. And then I can spend a bit more time with the design team as well. So it's Friday, the 30th of May, Saturday, the 31st of May. And then on the Sunday, these are the workshops. So we've got a workshop with Linda Williams, and you can see the codes are up here, 60210. That's if you want to sign up for a day with Linda Williams. She's been in touch with me about what she's going to do, new plate. That'd be lovely. And then my workshops, that's on the Sunday as well. I'm working on that. Like I say, we've got new stamps. So what a lot of people do, you see, they come for the Saturday. Well, a lot of people, they would come for the Friday and the Saturday, and then we tagged on the Sunday workshops as well. So if you're into groovy, and it's an opportunity to spend a day with Linda Williams herself. If you're into stamping and inking and gel plates, etc., it's an opportunity to spend a day with myself. I think mine had already sold out, and so we extended the numbers by 10. So hopefully you'll be interested in that. And like I was saying, the area of Ditton, if you did want to come and make a little retreat or a little escape for yourselves, there are so many beautiful like castles, and the Priory in Aylesford and Aylesford Village. It's such a lovely place, you know. So if your husband was going to come with you, or you're going to come with a couple of girlfriends, you know, it's a smashing, it's a lovely part of the world. And there's a really nice restaurant as well by the locks. I think it's called the Moat. But that's also in Aylesford, along the way there. So if you're interested in joining us for our Clarity event of the year, I certainly would appreciate it, the support for that, and for the 1, 2, 3 workshop. And you don't need to tell me why you're not coming. That doesn't make me feel better. Okay, it might make you feel better, but it doesn't make me feel better. I just need to know that you are coming, okay, without putting too fine a point on it. So there you go. Read that room, and other than that, let me see. I'm going to see you at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and the thing about the online workshops, of course, is that you could be anywhere in the world. I completely understand that people from further afield can't come to the open days. I absolutely get it, okay? But the online workshops, they're available to you wherever you are in the world, or wherever you are in Britain or England or Ireland, okay? So let me see. I think the only last thing I want to do is let's finish this one. If I take this particular vase shape now, right, I'm going to take a bit of low-tack masking tape. Just bear with me a second while I find that. And then I think I will actually do a bit of project completion here. Now, where did I put that masking tape? We've usually got it here. Bear with me. I've always got it in. Here it is. There's one. Right, bit of masking tape and a sponge is all I need. That, and a grey ink pad. This could pose a problem. I did have it all at home, but that's the thing, you see. So if I'm going to do that like so, do I want to... Actually, do you know what? If I do that, then I've got to cover that up. But I actually think that looks pretty cool, where you can see the vase, don't you? And then we could just pop I actually like that. See, so then you're going to add that to there. And then, now where did I put that little grey ink pad? Bear with me a second, because I need the spot-on sponges. I've got them. And, oh, it's chaos here. That's all I'm saying, friends. Just let me find the grey ink pad. And if I haven't got the grey one, I might have to use a different colour. I used a really light grey, but I may have left it at home. I've got frayed burlap. I wonder what that looks like. I'm just going to have to use what I've got in front of me. Let me see, because this might not be the right colour, but it might be perfect. You just don't know, do you? See, black's too dark. Don't want to go black.
It's behind the back.
Is it?
Yeah.
I know, I don't want this one.
Grey
I
one.
don't know what... It was here. Ah, Paul hid it. Ah, blame Paul. Right, let me just check this colour. No, see, that's too green. I don't want it to be fragrant. That's the one. Thank you. Thanks, Paul. Right. He will tidy away, won't he? No, it's not watering can, but okay, I'll work with watering can. Bit darker than I want, but that's okay. It will work. So what we're going to do, you see, is we're going to use the watering can ink pad. And this is where I really, really love how you can smooth in your colour like this, look. So I'm just going to go gently and hold it in place. See, I would use a slightly lighter colour than this one, but I think it wasn't watering can, it was a, let me see if I can get another colour. If I use, don't want to use sky blue. It was lighter than that, but it doesn't matter. It was a lighter one. The light greys. Anyone got any ideas what the name of it was? Come on. Bit of help needed. But what you'll see is when you do this, there you go. It's a bit of depth there, isn't it? It needs to be darker there because it's underneath the flowers. That'll be good. So I'm just going to see what's great. And this is what I was saying is that what's amazing is how it just smooths. Look how it, even though it's a permanent ink pad, see how it just smooths off the tracing paper. Watch, I can go in there and I can just wipe it off. Let me take a clean, and you'll see it just smooths straight into that aperture. Let's see what we've got when we take this away now. We can always put it back if we're not. Oh yeah, see, that actually looks really nice because we put the black around there. Looks very good. And then we'll take our, because we've got some stalks and things that need a little bit, because there's a few stalks going in here now. So let's just use the black. Here we go. Get a bit of stalkage. There, nice. Oh, hello. Bit of grey in there as well. That's it. Done. There's my vase. There's my flowers. We have completed the project, and it's 11 o'clock on the nose. Shadow grey. That was the colour that I was looking for. So shadow grey is a lighter version. So if we compare the two, you'll see. Actually, I'd say that this is probably good because of the black round the outside, but I would definitely use shadow grey if I were using the lighter flowers. There we go. So there you go. That'll do for now. Thank you very much for joining me. And don't forget, we'll be back at 2 o'clock. And if you're interested in those beautiful Clarity Crafts Pergamano tool holders, then they're already available on the website. Or you can wait till 2 and then see what else we do. Thanks very much for joining me. Thanks, Paul, for your help. And have a great day. Enjoy that sunshine. Bye-bye now.